Nadav Lapid, an Israeli filmmaker, who chaired the IFFI 2022 jury, has come under fire for criticizing, following comments on the film, Kashmir Files. Nadav Lapid, the Israeli film director and screenwriter, who presided over the jury for the 53rd International Film Festival of India, stunned the audience at the closing ceremony on Monday by criticizing Vivek Agnihotри's Kashmir Files. The Israeli filmmaker said that the jury was disturbed and shocked to watch the film. He described the Kashmir Files as a propaganda, vulgar film that was inappropriate for an artistic competitive section of such a prestigious film festival.
We were, all of us, disturbed and shocked by the 15th film, by the movie Kashmir Files, that felt to us like a propaganda, vulgar movie, inappropriate for an artistic competitive section of such a prestigious film festival. I feel totally comfortable to share openly these feelings here with you on stage, since the spirit that we felt in the festival can surely accept also a critical discussion, which is essential for art and for life. Thanks a lot.
Nadav Lapid, a leftist filmmaker, whose films criticize Israel's armed forces and national identity, has now labeled the Indian film, The Kashmir File, as propaganda and vulgar, and has denied the suffering of the Kashmiris. It is clear that the leftist ecosystem is assisting in the cover-up of the atrocities committed against the Kashmiri pandits, and is determined to portray Hindus as oppressors. These people do everything they can to hide and deny the truth. They do this so that people do not discover the truth about them, and do not question them. Every once in a while, a movie comes along that is brave enough to go against the established story, by showing the truth that has been hidden, because of vested interests. The Kashmir Files, by Vivek Agnihotri, is one of these movies that tells the story of the killing of Hindus in Kashmir in the 1990s. Till 1990, there were thousands Kashmiri pandit families living in the valley, but after the exodus that continued for 2 years, the Kashmiri pandit families were forced to leave the valley. Their homes were vandalized and burnt, their shops were looted, and their landed properties were forcibly occupied by local Muslim people. Loudspeakers from mosques in the valley, asking all pandits to leave the valley immediately or face the consequences. For the first time, the agony of Kashmiri pandits has hit the big screen. But the film Kashmir Files and its makers are accused of painting hateful and half-truths on the silver screen. Kashmiri pandits, who have seen this movie, insist this movie is not fiction, but an account of what actually happened to their lives. It's the dark truth, which they, and their family members, have experienced for more than 3 decades. The Kashmir exodus is a reminder of how intellectual and journalistic biases can cause irreparable damage to crucial eyewitness accounts. India's tragedy is that the dominant in English academia and news media whitewashed jihadi extremism, which had devastated Kashmir and its people across religious lines. Why are people like Nadav Lapid adopting an entirely different standard to evaluate the movie Kashmir Files, which highlights the evil of Islamist hatred? Because the film dismantles certain misconceptions that have been deliberately fostered in relation to the troubles in Kashmir. The Muslim Kashmiri has been always portrayed in the role of a victim. Pro-freedom rights campaigners, both in India and overseas, have cited a sense of moral duty as a justification for their activism on behalf of Muslim Kashmiris. This fallacy is shown in Kashmir Files, via the medium of a vivid retelling. The film demonstrates that there is a well-entrenched plot working against the Hindu minority group in the valley of the Kashmir. However, things have changed. There is enough information on social media and the internet that these people can no longer use Hindus to make them feel bad, no matter how hard they try to hide the truth or deceive the public. A portion of Lapid's speech went viral on social media, sparking a heated debate about his remark on the film, which holds sentimental value in many people's hearts. After the controversial remarks of Israeli filmmaker, Israeli envoy to India, Nadav Lapid, slammed IFFI jury head, and apologized for the conduct of his countrymen at event in Goa. In an open letter, Nadav Lapid called out Nadav Lapid for his insensitive comment, saying that Lapid ought to be ashamed of himself. He strongly rebuked the remark, arguing that it demonstrates the sensitivity of the Kashmir issue. Sudipto Sen, a fellow jury member, distanced the jury members from Lapid's statement, calling it personal opinion rather than the collective jury's. Filmmaker Ashik Pandit objected to Lapid's statement, as did the Kashmir Files director, Vivek Agnihotri, and the film's actors.